Good afternoon, MathFest. Hope you're all doing great today. Well, if you're here today, it means you survived heatwave yesterday, plus MathFest day 1. Following on from HereWithFlow session, which brilliantly showed how challenger brands can win with voice and purpose, I'm here to talk to you today about how brands of any size can win with intent. I'm Vuibert, account director at RTB House. We are one of the leaders in performance marketing, powered by deep learning. I'm sorry, I'm not coming with any QCAD videos or free tote bags to give you today, but hopefully I'm coming with something as memorable. A look into AI, whenever it truly understands intent, can stop you from shouting into the void and help your ad truly connect. Let's get started with a round of questions for you guys today. First, who here has ever seen any irrelevant ad? Please raise your hands. Right, yeah, a lot of you guys. The second one, who's confident their brands never show up next to awkward or inappropriate content? Not so many. I thought so. It's because marketing today still relies a lot on, guesswork, keyword matching, and it leads to very weird results. A bit of that in a second, because today I also would like to show you how generative AI and deep learning already help you understand, content, context, and real human intent. And yes, today it's also going to include some haiku writing delivery bots. A bit more of that in a second. Right, let's start with a laugh. Do you remember this from last year? Yeah, or maybe not? A user actually asked DPD's chatbot AI to write a haiku about how useless DPD is. And you know what? The funny story is that actually the bot did it. DPD is useless, chatbot that can help you, don't bother calling them. Generative AI creative, right? Helpful? Not quite. So this is what I would like to show you today, how we can move from, chaotic AI to more clever AI. Well, speaking of panic, imagine, true story, you are told, Julie, in 2 weeks, you will be at MathFest as a speaker. For your very first time on stage, you will have 15, 20 minutes. Day 2, afternoon, post-lunch slump. You start feeling a bit the pressure, right, and the goosebump. So naturally, I turn to ChatGPT. I actually have to tell you, I use it all the time to make a bedtime story for my kids, or actually help me create like cute unicorn or dinosaurs birthday party invites in Canvas for my kids. A lot of birthday party at this age. So yeah, of course, AI isn't just for work. It's actually a sidekick to your daily life. So here is the fundamental challenge of modern marketing today. Showing the right ad in the right place at the right time. It looks easy and simple, right? But way more difficult to execute. And I'm gonna show you right now what happens when things go wrong. Here is this example. So you've got, an article about walking sandals for white feet. And this is the ad you can see next to it for car deals. I know a lot of us here are very much interested in cars, but even though it's not offensive, it's totally inappropriate. It's a total miss. And I have to say, sadly, it happens all the time. Let me now show you another example. This is a news article about a toddler, serious story, being attacked by a dog. And can you see here the ad next to it? Yeah, it's actually a cutesy sweater matching for dogs. It looks cute here, but totally inappropriate. And it can also, damage your brand because there is a risk of perception related to that. Another one, it's about, Pope Francis, amazing man, an article about reforms in the church. And this is here the targeting match that you get, a Christian-themed jewelry. It's not because you're reading an article about reforms in the church that you are necessarily in the market for buying groceries, right? Last but not least, so here is a classic one. Let's say you're reading an article about a suit, and boom, you get served this ad about a local tailor. Yeah, it doesn't work because contextual targeting has its limits. Words can have several meanings, right? But with IntentGPT, we can get rid of all of this ambiguity, and I will show you now in a second how we can do that. First, let me help you distinguish two kinds of AI. There is the AI that you see, the one which is helping you generating content, images, poetry, the kind of tech behind ChatGPT, for instance. And there is the AI that you don't see, the one that can help you predict where a user will click, where you should be showing your ads, which is actually the IntentGPT. This is this invisible kind that transforms advertising today. Let's take a step back, because I think it's very important to get a few concepts before we get into the weeds. So deep learning, what the magic of it? It learns like human. I guess nobody today poses you at MathFest every 10 minutes trying to understand and summarize what just happened. We absorb continuously. That's like, for, let's say, website traffic, it looks a bit sometimes chaotic, flowing stream. And deep learning thrives from that chaos, fragmented data. And unlike all model needing perfect table, deep learning drinks from the fire hose and sorts things out. Now, let's enter large language models. Quite tricky to say. Usually we say LLMs. They are actually, the brain behind ChatGPT. They can seem like magic. With the example I gave you earlier, write me a story. I don't know about stolen snack, flying cats, a girl in London, and boom, you get your bedtime story just on time for your kids, which sounds great, right? But behind the curtains, LLM just predict the next likely word with a bit of randomness, I would say. Right, you would say generative AI is everywhere. It's taking over the world. It looks funny, but you have to remember that it's still early stages, right? Because it works well in Photoshop or creative tools, but it has some issues such as hallucination, slow inference, high cost, and lack of truth validation. You train it by showing right versus wrong, reinforcing or tweaking the model each time. Promising, right? But ready for everything? Not quite. So, what did we do here at RTB House? So RTB House adapted LLMs for marketing. How? By using first-party data to help solve the truth problem, Because every impression is an experiment. We know if some content was clicked, converted. So there is a lot, I would say, of feedback in real time, which is great. Unlike aviation or healthcare, if it doesn't work, it's just a misclick. The sun still rises. So also something to bear in mind, we created our own data compression tech to maximize performance. And it also works offline just to keep it fresh. Then, what did we do with all of that? So at RTB House, we delivered IntentGPT. IntentGPT works from your product feed, your publisher first-party data, and applies 4 proprietary technologies. It reads what your users are consuming online, it understands your buyer, it can match the content, and most importantly, it can build and render the ad in real time. So this is like if context is meeting commerce. That's IntentGPT. Now, let's flip this. The AI you don't see is actually the one behind the scene making, all those decisions, like where you should be delivering your ads, if a user will be likely or not, to click on your ads and convert. So it's not just about writing bedtime stories anymore. It's shaping the moment your ad gets seen, clicked, and leads to a conversion. This is how deep learning works for you, invisibly, relentlessly. Now, let me give you a bit more background about who we are at RTB House. So RTB House is a performance DSP running from acquisition, retargeting, and engagement outside the walled garden. What makes us different from any other providers in the industry? We started with deep learning, the magic behind tools such as ChatGPT years ago already. And you know what? We maximize your first-party data, your best signals, your own assets, your competitive edge. So we work with more than 3,000 brands globally, a lot of logos here. I'm not going to go through all of them. We do operate in, 90 markets. We have 30 offices. We are proudly born in Warsaw, Poland, where our HQ still is. Now you probably have picked up I'm not Polish, I'm French, even though British naturalized, and I've been working at RTB House for the past 2 years. Now, IntentGPT is probably not having so much secrets anymore. IntentGPT not only ensures clever targeting, but also true accuracy globally. Because with LLM and deep learning, we can decode nuance, adapt locally, and also personalize to what really matters across 49 languages. Yes, you heard it right, 49 languages, because our AI speaks intent fluently. So now that you get to know IntentGPT better, whenever you are reading an article about summer shoes, white feet, just have them, sandals. Not, I would say, rocket science, right? But sadly rare. With IntentGPT, that's the new normal. Now, let's go a bit more niche. Let's say you're interested in equestrian safety. Weird topic, right? Very niche, but you do care about it. With IntentGPT, we can find that page, that context, and actually show those safety gear tailored to horseback riders. That's very smart. Something else as well we can do with IntentGPT is that we can spot your feed mistakes. Let's say you just found, this beach chair listed under clothing, or this picnic mat listed under suits. With IntentGPT, we can fix those errors and put your products back to where they belong based on what your users are reading. So just one tip. Just try to run your whole feed product catalog using an LLM, and you will be so surprised with what you find out. So now talking about scale and impact. So we are matching over 238 million products to 20+ million URLs daily. And because we are not working with languages, but with tokens, wherever we work with, we can function cross-border with ease. Whether you are, using tree in English, arbre in French, or arbol in Spanish, everything is considered as one concept token. And the results speak for themselves. Look, plus 34% of engagement lift, and it's only early results. we can already see better performance, especially in the funnel where signal are sparse and intent is strong. So now, this is just the start. Soon, we will go beyond words. You know, reading image context, sparsing layouts, spotting ad clutter and white space, but also analyzing comments to catch tone. So we are building an ad tech that doesn't just see, it understands. So now, let's leave spray and pray where it belongs. In the early 2000s, with fax machines, flashing banners, being less boring doesn't mean being louder. It means being smarter. Smarter where you show up, when you show up, and most importantly, why you show up. Thanks so much for being such an amazing audience today. If you do have any questions, please feel free to come and visit our TB House booth. We are very close to the creative stage, so hopefully we can answer any questions you might have. So let's keep this energy going and let's hand over to the next speaker, Vuibert, proving that smart and sustainable is not just a brand message, it's a method. Thank you so much once again.